So we've been doing this for 109 days now, and you're welcome today. I chose to do the Bible in 1 year for those who are just joining my podcast for the first time because I wanted to know God and the Bible stories more for myself. I wanted my own interpretations of what were written in the stories and to be able to draw my own lessons and insights. I have done this because I have, and then of course I want to be accountable to an audience. So I'm recording my every single day. I record the readings that I have. Okay, I record everything that I'm doing, all the scriptures and my thoughts about it. I put it out there. The essence is just so that you can hold me accountable. So this is the Easter holidays. Good Friday was an awesome day, and I'll be honest with you. I'm about to do something not conventional in how I have. The pattern is about to change slightly for a few days. So why? Because um, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday are like the Easter holidays after the Good Friday, and I spend time mingling with extended family and eating and just basically taking things a bit slow. So even though I was reading my Bible, I wasn't really in the mood to shoot videos. I was out of home all those days. So now that I'm back home, I know that I have to catch up and bring you up to speed. So in order to make this easy, I've decided to combine 3 days, but I'm not going to be shooting the 3 days all at once. I'm going to be shooting the Old Testament and then as one batch, one video, and then 3 days of the New Testament as one video. So the Old Testament and the Proverbs, and then the New Testament and the Psalms. So that means instead of shooting 3 extra days, I'll be shooting 2 days just for the fun of it. Tell me if you like this pattern, and if you do, then I'll continue. Okay, and that means I'll hold on for a few days, then shoot them together. However, the stories are interesting and they flow, and you have a good time. So today, for those who are just following, I use this daily Bible guide. It's known as the Daily Bible Reading Guide from Family Worship Center. That's the church I attend, and we read an Old Testament, a New Testament, a Psalm, and a Proverb. But following what I just said, today we're just going to be looking at the Old Testament, and then I'll end this video. Then I'll shoot a second one immediately after the New Testament of days 109, 110, and 111. You're not even going to know anything happened, believe you me. All right, let's get to it straight away. So Joshua is still sharing the land. Remember that yesterday we were looking at the land, the portions, and the inheritance issues for the Israelites. There's certain tribes, 9.5 tribes, had not really received their lands properly. So Joshua was now focused on getting things done as he was getting older. War had rested from the land, so they had conquered a large portion of the land, and the people needed to move there and take over. So Joshua was now sharing that all of that, casting lots for them. So this is just a brief recall of the lots that Joshua was casting. We're reading from Joshua 19, 1 to 20. Joshua 19 and 20. Chapters 19 and 20. So the first lot casted was casted for Benjamin. We talked about that yesterday. Today's lot, the second lot came for Simeon. Simeon's share was included in Judah's share because Judah's share was too much. The third lot was casted for Zebulun, the fourth lot for Issachar, the fifth lot for Asher, the sixth lot for Naphtali, and the seventh lot for Dan. Then they gave Joshua a city in Ephraim where Joshua could live. Not Joshua was their leader. So they gave Joshua and his family a city in Ephraim where they could live, somewhere on the mountains. Then the cities of refuge were appointed. Remember the cities of refuge. If you remember when Moses was carving out the promised land, the cities of refuge were where people were supposed to go and hide if they accidentally killed someone. They were not pasture lands, they were cities. So someone could kill someone in the village and then come and stay in Abuja. It would be hard to find the person here. The person is allowed to stay here until the Avenger of Blood, because so that the Avenger of Blood will not come in here and kill him. If an Avenger of Blood comes in from a pasture land, like a village or country home, and comes into a city, say like the Federal Capital Territory, and just comes in and kills somebody because the person accidentally slayed someone, he will probably be held accountable here by the law. So unless there's an intentional killing of someone and then you come and hide in a city of refuge, the people are under obligation to keep you safe. To keep you safe until the Avenger of Blood dies, then you can return back. So the city of refuge were created. There were also cities created. Okay, so let me not go ahead of myself. So the cities of refuge were created, and they were in Kadesh, in Galilee, the famous Galilee and Jesus. Yeah, there was a city of refuge there. And Galilee is in Naphtali. I didn't know that. Did you know that? Galilee was in Naphtali. Then Shechem, the second city of refuge was Shechem in Ephraim. And then the third city of refuge was in Kiriath Arba, in Hebron. And Hebron is in Judah. So those were the three cities of refuge that they set apart. Okay, so that ends day 109. In day 110, Joshua will now talk about the city of Levites. So the city of Levites, so now God had brought the Israelites out of the land. The background story: God had brought the Israelites into the promised land, and he had told them that 11 out of those tribes will get cities. They will get pasture land. They are coming to the promised land. The only people who were not going to get pasture lands were Levites. Levites were known as, they say it in a strange way. They say the Levite inheritance is their sacrifice of fire from God. Very weird. I don't understand exactly what it means. But I think it means that because they are the ones handling the sacrifices, God made sure they take a lot of food from what is taken. So they don't need to farm. There's a lot that comes from the people who come to sacrifice. They sacrifice a portion of it, and then the Levites are allowed to eat the other portion. It's getting a bit warm in my garden. Okay. I see someone here. Thank you for joining. So the Levites were now the portions for the Levites were now being created. So the Kohathites are the family of Aaron, Moses' own family. Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. This is their family. They received 13 cities, right? Because they're not expected to live in pasture land. They won't have time to farm the lands. They must be in cities where they live in blocks of flats, and just the way we live in cities today. So the Kohathites got 13 cities, courtesy of Judah, the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin. Then 10 cities from Ephraim, Dan, and West Manasseh. So all of that, so that means they got 23 cities in all for the family of the Kohathites. Maybe they were a larger bunch than the other Levites, I don't know. But the family of Aaron, they were given 23 cities. All right. Now there's the family of Gershon as well. That's another tribe of Levi. They got their own 13 cities, courtesy of the tribes of Issachar, Asher, and Naphtali. Asher, Naphtali, and West, and Manasseh. Maybe East Manasseh as well. Then Merari, the last tribe of the Levites, got 12 cities, courtesy of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. So a total of 48 cities with their common land were given to the Levites. So that's their own share of the land. This was God fulfilling what he had promised. Then Reuben and Gad and half Manasseh decided to do what was considered an abomination. They built an altar, a really impressive altar. So let me back up a bit. Reuben, Gad, and West Manasseh live across the river, on what they call the west side of the land. So they chose to settle there before they crossed the promised land. And when they got there, Moses had charged them that they would stay in the land so long as they promised to help their brothers conquer their own land. So when they got there, their children settled there and their wives, while the men went to war to help Israel conquer the other parts of the land. So now these people had returned back. The land had rested from war now, right? They were now casting lots, and lots had been cast. So everybody returned back to their own land, while those who had been given their own share can now go there, move in, and begin to take charge, build their houses, do whatever, allocate or buy land or whatever. They were all supposed to do that now. And so when they got there, they thought that to themselves that we're on this side of the Jordan. Almost everything is happening on the other side. Nine and a half tribes are on the other side, while we are on this side. They can easily forget us, So let's build a monument similar, exactly like where they offer sacrifices there, where there's the place where they're supposed to be offering all those burnt offering things that we did in the book of of Numbers and Deuteronomy. Yeah, all of that place is on the other side of the river. So we need to make sure the people there recognize that we are still part of them. Because we can pass on, our children will come on hundreds of years later and accuse us of not being part of them. So they went ahead and built an altar exactly identical to the one at Shiloh. Shiloh was where they were meeting. So when that happened, the news came to Joshua and the elders that those people have built another altar. So they thought, what? What? They're building an altar, another shrine? To who? You know how God takes these things. God, like, we can't play with God. He hates this idea of worshiping other gods. Like, that is his pet peeve. So we can't accept it. We need to go there and meet them. So they go there and meet them. They go there and meet them. And they're like, what are you guys doing? Are you crazy? Have you forgotten? Do you remember what happened at Paul? We haven't even recovered from what God did to us there. And then remember what happened to this guy when we crossed the line? That Achan guy that stole some stuff when God said we shouldn't. You saw what God did to his family. Now you want to bring other issues. Look, you guys, you better stop this drama. We can't cope. Okay. So the you know, on and on it went. There was a lot of rebellion. See, God is not playing, oh. Don't play with God, oh. And so moving now to day 111, they're like, calm down, guys, calm down. That's not what you think. And then they narrated to them what I just narrated to you. Calm down, guys. It's not what you think. We're not trying to set up another altar to chase another God. We just don't want you guys to forget us. If you forget us and your children start to accuse their children that if it was true that you're part of the Israelites, why are you on this side of the river and not this side? We're making sure that this monument shows that we are part of you. It's just a monument. It's just for, nobody would dare offer a sacrifice here. And so everybody now felt, oh, okay, all right, I guess that makes sense. We'll just, okay, all right, I guess we'll accept that explanation. And so that's what happened. They accepted the explanation, and everybody's anger was sated, and everything went back to status quo. Now, time passed, and Joshua's life was coming to an end, just like the famous Moses' life. You know, Joshua's life was coming to an end. So he gives his farewell speech, and he says, time has passed. Time has passed. I'm getting old. So I want to call all the leaders and let me talk to them. See how far we've come. So this is me now paraphrasing it because I didn't want to go into the details in the scripture. So it's from chapters 23, the book of Joshua, chapters 23. And then he just goes on to narrate, look, you guys, we've come so far. Remember all the wars, how God gave us the wars. I want you to be courageous and not to forget. See all the land we have conquered. And there's still a lot more to conquer. We haven't even conquered all of them. So just follow God and what God says, and he will expel everyone for you. The only thing is, do not deviate from what God requested. Remember that he has a pet peeve with idols, and then he gave all these other commandments about do not kill, do not commit adultery, do not murder, all of those things, and all the other breakdowns that Moses gave us for life and conduct, for our hygiene, and all of this. So all those laws, please stick to them. Please stick to them, okay? Those who are remaining in the lands where you're supposed to occupy, God will remove them for you. But you remain courageous. No foreign gods, no worshipping of other gods or swearing by them. No, don't mingle and marry the people that are in your land currently, because God knows they will lead you away. The moment you start marrying them, they become family and you can't get rid of them again. And so God needs you not to have that position. You must take the hostile position and not be friendly with them. Your international relations must not be friendly, you know, else God will no longer drive them out. They'll become traps for you, you know, and snares and scourges to you. I'm trying not to say something, but I said I'll be honest. I'm not an Israelite, and I see what is happening today in Israel, and I know it's as a result of this thing. I know that the Israelites couldn't get rid of the people in the promised land, and they discarded the laws of God. So God didn't do anything to drive them out again, and they became snares, scourges, and traps to them today. All of the fighting that we see going on there, all of the gang up against Israel and all of that is because of this law that they did not follow. So look, Joshua reminds them he's dying, and you know, he says he's dying, and he knows that one thing that God has promised will never fail. God has not failed and will not start to fail. Everything that God promised us has happened. So just as good has happened, bad will happen if you do not follow the ways of God. Don't deviate from his commandments. You'll perish and lose all the good that God gave you if you do. Okay? And that's where God ends. So that's our Old Testament reading for the 3 days. Isn't that awesome? We didn't need to break anything. I like it actually. All right, so now let's read the Proverbs. We have three Proverbs, 6 verses in all, and then we'll be done. So Proverbs chapter 13, Proverbs chapter 13, and we're looking at Proverbs chapter 13 verses 12. Verses 12. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when desire comes, it is a tree of life. So hope deferred makes the heart sick, and when desire comes, it's a tree of life. Yes, like I shared in 2 episodes ago that I was a bit discouraged at the end of last year because of some things that happened concerning my work, and but desire has come again, and it has refreshed. I feel refreshed by the circumstances. 13. He who despises the word will be destroyed, but he who fears the commandments will be rewarded. So it's just in line with what Joshua was telling his people. If you despise the word of God, if you despise the commandments and the things God is leading you, they're for your life, they're for living, they're for wisdom, they're for keeping you safe and keeping you happy and prosperous. If you despise it, you will lose. That's just basically it. If you fear the commandments of God, you will be rewarded. The law of the Lord is a wise fountain of life, to turn one away from the snares of death. Ultimately, the appointment all human beings have to keep is with death. But for as long as you can keep death far away from you, for as long as possible, do so. And how do you do so? By not despising the word, by fearing the commandments and listening to the law of God. That's just basically what that means. Verse 15, good understanding gives favor, but the way of the unfaithful is hard. 16, every prudent man acts with knowledge, but a fool lays open his folly. And then verse 17, which is our last. Oh, there's 19. Okay, 17 to 19. A wicked messenger falls into trouble, but a faithful ambassador brings health. 18, poverty and shame will come to him who disdains correction, but he who regards a rebuke will be honored. 19, a desire accomplished is sweet to the soul. Oh, just like I'm accomplishing this is sweet to my soul. When I do a design and I see the beautiful finished product, it's a joy to my soul. And when I finish my PhD, it will be a sweet joy to my soul. But it is an abomination to fools to depart from evil. So that ends our video for today. I'm going to shoot a next video, and that will be covering the New Testament. I hope you enjoyed today's style. Yeah, so thank you for joining me. I saw some people there. If you like, please like, share, leave a comment or two, and turn on the notification button so that you could join me when I'm live next time. Okay, and then please subscribe and share with people that you know. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow or later. I'll see you later in